Good morning. We are back again with history, and we're going to be reading about Chapter 4, the Tang Dynasty. Before and after Wu. Except for the 15 years when Wu Jiao ruled as emperor, the Tang Dynasty ruled China for almost 300 years, from 618 CE to 907 CE. During the Tang Dynasty, China was the biggest and richest country in the entire world. It conquered other lands, including Korea, Iran, and a large part of Vietnam. The Japanese were so impressed with China and its culture that they copied much of it and even the written language. So why did Japanese... Hold on, that doesn't answer that question. Let's keep reading. Poetry and the arts. The Tang emperors loved the arts, especially poetry. 27-year-old So An became emperor in 712 CE. He was skilled in music, poetry, and the beautiful handwriting known as calligraphy. The new emperor surrounded himself with poets, including two of the most famous poets in Chinese history, Li Bai and Du Fu. And calligraphy is just another word for artistic handwriting. Du Fu was a serious and hardworking young man who always wanted to be a government official. Li Bai, on the other hand, took life easier. He wrote, "Life in the world is but a big dream. I will not spoil it by any labor or care." Li Bai often got himself into trouble by fighting and drinking too much alcohol. And eventually, Li Bai left the emperor's court and became a wanderer. According to legend, he died by falling into a river. The legend says that while crossing the river in a boat, Li Bai saw the moon's reflection in the water and reached for it, trying to hug it. He fell out of the boat and drowned while reaching for the moon. An era of glory. During the Tang Dynasty, the country was bursting with creative energy. Foreigners were more welcome than ever before, and the mix of cultures and ideas made China an exciting place. Tea became incredibly popular during the Tang Dynasty. Everyone loved to drink it. Tea was grown in China, and the merchants who sold it became extremely rich. There was only one problem. So much money was being used that China was running out of coins. What do you think the Chinese did? Stop buying things? No, that wasn't the answer. Instead, the merchants invented a kind of paper money that they called flying money, perhaps because the money flew so fast from one person to the next. This is the first type of paper money in the world. A number of other inventions also took hold. At the end of the Tang Dynasty, the invention of woodblock printing led to the creation of books. A worker would carve words and drawings into a wooden block, then cover the block with ink, and then press it onto the paper. Presto, a printed page. One worker could produce 1,000 pages in a day using this technique. The oldest existing book in the world, the Diamond Sutra, is a Buddhist text that was printed in China in 868 CE. Once again, the Chinese outpaced the Europeans. Hundreds of years would pass before printing was invented in Europe. So again, woodblock printing is just a type of printing in which designs and patterns are carved onto a wood block, and then the wood block is dipped into paint or ink and then stamped on another paper or another surface. So let's go ahead and answer some questions. So who was Li Bai and Du Fu, and how were they different? So who are each of those people, Li Bai and Du Fu, and then how are they different? So Li Bai and Du Fu were both very famous poets in Chinese history. Du Fu was a very serious and hardworking man, whereas Li Bai got into trouble because he fought and drank too much. What were some of the accomplishments in China during the Tang Dynasty? So what were some of the things that they ended up coming up with during the Tang Dynasty? I'll give you a hint. There's 4 things that I'm going to discuss. So the first one is the fact that two of the greatest poets of Chinese history were living during this time. Another one was calligraphy flourished. People were really getting into it. Another thing was the flying money was invented, or paper money is what they called it, or what we would call it now, but it was flying money back then. And then the last thing was the woodblock printing that allowed books to be printed quickly and didn't take so long for somebody to handwrite it. All right, let's read about an explosive discovery. An even more explosive discovery took place in China during the Tang Dynasty. For many centuries, Chinese scientists called alchemists had tried to create gold and find the secret to living forever. These experiments eventually led them to mix charcoal, nitrate, and saltpeter together. The results surprised them. The mixture exploded. The Chinese had discovered gunpowder. A warning appears in a Tang chemistry book. Beware when mixing these ingredients, because your mixture might explode right in your face and even burn off your beard. So, an alchemist is a person who tries to turn other metals into gold. Charcoal is black chunks of burned wood. Nitrate is a chemical. It's often used as a fertilizer. And saltpeter is a different type of a nitrate. Under the Tang Dynasty, the Chinese used gunpowder, not for warfare, but creating spectacular fireworks. It seemed fitting that the brilliant Tang Dynasty should be remembered for giving to the world of a magnificent gift of fireworks. So whenever these Chinese alchemists discovered that they mixed charcoal, nitrate, and saltpeter together, what did they discover it made, and how did they use it? So they mixed all these ingredients together. What happened? And then how did they end up using it later? So they ended up making gunpowder, but they ended up using it to create fireworks and make a display of it, like you can see in the picture there. All right, you will have a discussion post to answer for this chapter, and it is what great advances happened during the Tang Dynasty. So there are many different answers you could add. I want you to come up with as many as you can remember. So I hope you have a great day, enjoy your snow, and we will be back again tomorrow with chapter 5.